And tonight on Connecticut's news station, millions of dollars stolen from the city of New Haven in a massive data breach. More ahead on what we know so far.
Several gang members behind bars tonight in connection to 10 homicides. We're hearing from victims' family members on the arrests.
Plus, 2 correction officers arrested, one accused of smuggling drugs into a prison. It's a Fox 61 exclusive. Straight ahead.
And relief for residents impacted by floods, when you can start applying for assistance.
Breaking news now on Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us here in the news at 6. I'm Ben Goldman.
And I'm Sarah Sanchez. We begin with that breaking news tonight. The Connecticut State Police Union is holding an emergency meeting for a vote of no confidence for the positions of Commissioner and Deputy Commissioner of the State Police.
Fox 61's Jake Garcia joining us now from the Breaking News Center with more on this. Jake.
Well, Ben and Sarah, earlier this afternoon, the Connecticut State Police Union president informed the top 2 ranking officials of the Connecticut State Police that the union held a vote of no confidence, calling for the resignation of Commissioner James Ravella and Colonel Stavros Malikas. Now, this all comes in the wake of an audit by the Connecticut Racial Profiling Prohibition Project released earlier this summer that concluded that over the last decade, it was highly likely that troopers may have falsified more than 25,000 traffic tickets, which make it appear that more white drivers were being pulled over than other ethnicities. Earlier this afternoon, Fox 61 obtained a letter from the union calling for the resignations of Commissioner Ravella and Colonel Malikas, saying that the 2 have fostered an environment of mistrust and that they failed to protect troopers. A part of that letter reads in part, quote, "We no longer have any confidence in you or Colonel Malikas, who stood by idly as you allowed others to publicly make false allegations, destroyed the morale of our troopers, and dismantled the reputation of the state police," end quote. The letter goes on to say that the union believes Ravella and Malikas have lost all credibility and calls for them to resign before things get worse. Now, Governor Ned Lamont has urged people to wait until the results of the traffic tickets investigation before drawing their conclusion. That investigation is now being carried out by the U.S. Department of Justice. Now, this is the second no confidence vote this year for Commissioner Ravella. Last month, the State Police Lieutenants and Captains Union also voted no confidence. We reached out to the Connecticut State Police for comment, but they declined to comment. In the Breaking News Center, Jake Garcia, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
All right. Thank you, Jake. Turning now to the weather. Some more rain on this Thursday out there this afternoon, but will it last into the weekend?
Yeah, just got to get through today here. Meteorologist Sam Sampiri joining us now. Hi, Sam.
Hi there, Ben and Sarah. Well, it looks like we will get rid of the rain this evening. Have a beautiful day tomorrow. We have to deal with showers, seems like every 2 or 3 days, because we have fronts that continue to come down out of the north and west. Doppler showing the whole system. We have the cold front to the north, low pressure to the south. Now, just moving across south of Long Island, zooming in, we do have some lightning strikes now moving across Long Island Sound. For us, we just have a couple of heavy cells. We've brought up the dew points now, and we check into northeastern Connecticut. You can see a moderate to heavy cell through Pomfret, Putnam, and we stroll over the western areas up into Litchfield County. You can see some moderate rain going on, and there are cluster towns between Watertown, the Litchfield, the Harrington, the Plymouth, and then up in north central Connecticut, Ellington. There's a good little cell going on. So we get rid of this moderate to heavy scattered showers. Could we have a rumble of thunder? Maybe. It would be across southern Connecticut, the best chance. But at the same time, we'll just watch it carefully. It looks like all that severe weather will miss us tonight. And overnight, we'll start to clear out. Temperatures are dropping back into the 60s, and a beautiful day tomorrow. Bright sun, blue skies. High temperature 75 to 80. Yes, it will last in the part of the weekend. I'll time out the next chance for showers, and we'll talk about how long this pattern will last into next week. Ben and Sarah?
All right, Sam, thank you. Let's get to a developing story out of New Haven now, where a massive hacking scheme ended in criminals stealing more than $6 million from the city. This all after hackers pretended to be top officials within the New Haven public school system, ultimately getting their hands on huge wire transfers from May to June of this year. Fox 61's New Haven County Bureau reporter Julia LeBlanc joining us now live outside of police headquarters with more. Julia?
Well, city leaders broke this information to us from inside of the police department just hours ago. The good news, they've already recovered at least half of the stolen money so far, but the bad news is one city employee has been placed on paid administrative leave, and these millions, all of this money, was stolen from the public school system.
The individual or the individuals that did this are criminal.
Mayor Justin Elliker outraged after more than $6 million was stolen from the city and specifically the school system.
They are unbelievably unethical to not only steal money from the public, but steal money from New Haven public school children.
The whole thing starting in late May when hackers got access to the email of the district's chief operating officer. Then they used a tactic called business email compromise,
Where hackers gain access to a user account, watch conversations, and then insert themselves in the conversation in an attempt to steal money.
In June, Elliker says hackers began interfering with email conversations between New Haven Public Schools, vendors, and the city's budget office. 6 payments were made, 4 of them meant for First Student, totaling more than $5.9 million. 2 more payments went out, meant for Shipman and Goodwin, totaling more than $76,000. In July, the hackers tried again.
This transfer was denied by our budget office.
The city finding out on June 23rd when First Student called them looking for their money.
It was clear from the beginning that this was a larger type investigation.
To date, they've recovered $3.6 million, and the FBI put a freeze on some transfers, all as the superintendent can't help but think of the children ultimately targeted.
I'm just outraged that individuals will go to this extent to actually steal the much needed funds.
Now, the city has put 1 employee in their budgeting office on paid administrative leave, though they're making it clear they do not believe that person was involved at all in the hacking process. Now, in the meantime, both the city and the district have made changes to their systems, and they've stopped all wire transfers in the meantime outside of their payroll process. We are live here in New Haven tonight. Julia LeBlanc, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Thank you, Julia. Also in New Haven, a major takedown. 3 more men believed to be part of a gang have been arrested. They call themselves Exit 8. Police say the men are charged with racketeering and conspiracy, including drug trafficking, murder, and attempted murder. 6 others connected to the gang were arrested earlier this year. Police say these members have committed several murders and attempted murders going back as far as June of 2018. Family members of victims are reacting tonight.
This is a wake-up call. They made a choice. They didn't have to pull that trigger. They decided to. At any moment, they could have thought about it, but they didn't.
If convicted, at least 2 of the suspects could face a maximum of 60 years in prison.
The second suspect involved in an officer-involved shooting in West Hartford this week was rearrested today for reckless driving. 47-year-old Lyle Salisbury was in court today for the reckless driving charge. Earlier this week, he was involved in a stolen car and police shooting incident. It happened Tuesday on New Britain Avenue. The person he was with was shot and killed after police say they did not cooperate. That investigation is ongoing.
Now to a Fox 61 exclusive. Correction officers at 2 separate prisons were arrested this week.
One of the officers is accused of smuggling 2 types of narcotics into prison in New Haven with intent to sell them to inmates.
In a story you'll see first here on Fox 61, our Samaya Hernandez has been digging into those arrests and is in studio with what we know so far. Samaya.
A drug investigation is active right now at New Haven Correctional Center. So far, it has led to the arrest of a correction officer who is now in custody with bail set at $750,000. I caught up with someone representing a family that hopes that this leads to greater oversight. Dimitri Gino grew up in the New London area and started classes at Three Rivers College. He was gainfully employed when opioids caught up with him.
He was trying to save up money to start a company so he could start his own cleaning business. But the toll of addiction was substantial on him.
Addiction led Gino to incarceration. At 26, he was an unsentenced prisoner at Corrigan Correctional Center in Montville. In 2020, when he got a hold of fentanyl and overdosed inside his cell.
Fentanyl only stays in your system for a couple of days, so he was in there 7 days. He had to get it inside. There's no way, and he could have brought it in himself. They do strip searches.
Ken Krajewski represents Gino's family in a lawsuit against the state of Connecticut.
If our public health response to the opiate crisis is incarceration, then we need to fix the concept that people can get drugs inside of prison.
On Tuesday, troopers arrested a correction officer 2 years Geno's senior and just 6 months into the job for allegedly smuggling 2 types of drugs into New Haven Correctional Center with intent to sell to inmates. 28-year-old Christopher Nicholas Cosa was searched while entering the facility on Whaley Avenue Thursday. DOC officials said Cosa is no longer an employee. Commissioner Angel Quiroz said in part, quote, "There is zero tolerance for any action that could place our facilities at risk. We will hold any individual who jeopardizes the safety and security of our operations accountable to the fullest extent of the law." Krajewski says the Genos hope DOC creates better systems of oversight to keep drugs out of prison.
It's encouraging for us to hear that there may be some sort of a crackdown.
The DOC's Security Division and the state police are in the process of conducting active investigations on this incident. In studio, I'm Samaya Hernandez, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Samaya, thank you. Troopers also arrested a corrections officer in Suffield this week for allegedly sending harassing emails to a warden and the Attorney General's office. 55-year-old Sunday Torber of Vernon allegedly admitted to sending those emails. He's now on administrative leave pending the investigation. He's due in court tomorrow in Hartford.
The mother of the 2-year-old boy who died by falling out their apartment window faces a judge. Tabitha Frank's court appearance was brief. Her case was continued until next month. The state did not seek a bond increase either. The Hartford mom is charged with manslaughter and risk of injury to a child. A few weeks ago, her toddler, Cornelius Williams, died after falling out the window from the family's third-floor apartment. The toddler and his siblings, all 12 and under, were home alone while their mother worked. Frank spoke outside court alongside family and supporters who say the tragedy was an accident and was not her fault.
Actually agreeing that it may have not been what everybody assumed it was. I just want to say I appreciate those who've been here with me fighting this battle.
Frank is still asking for help burying her son. She says she can't afford a burial and has until next week to gather the nearly $6,000 she needs to bury him. She's scheduled to be back in court September 12th.
Right now, police are searching for 3 people they say targeted a man after a deadly shooting in Hartford. It happened on Barber Street. We know 1 man has died. Police say surveillance video shows just before 10 o'clock last night, a man by the name of Terwayne Nixon was walking when he saw 3 men waiting for him to pass. That's when police say the 3 men pulled out guns and started shooting at the victim.
Clearly very dangerous individuals, a lot of gunfire, a lot of ammunition, a lot of cases recovered, very violent attack. He's not somebody that I want in the community. So any help in getting these individuals out of the community would be greatly appreciated.
Officers tell us the victim also pulled out a gun and tried to shoot at the suspects, but none of them appeared to be hit. Police say that Nixon has died at the hospital. If you know any information, you're asked to call police as the investigation continues.
An investigation into reports of shots fired in Newington. Police say shots were fired into a home on Robbins near Main Street around 1 this morning. No one was in the home at the time and no injuries were reported. But police do believe it was a targeted attack. No word on any suspects.
Still to come.